So, what if I told you that the single biggest piece of career advice you've ever gotten, work hard at your job, is the very thing keeping you from getting truly wealthy? Today, we're going to unpack a philosophy that says chasing success is a total fool's game. The real secret? It's becoming the kind of person that success can't help but find.
I know, that sounds crazy, right? Work hard on your job is like the first rule of the modern workplace. But see, this is exactly where the game is rigged against you. The real key, the thing that unlocks everything, is to shift your focus and start working harder on yourself. And that really sets up the big question you have to ask yourself. Are you a hunter, always chasing the next dollar, the next promotion, the next thing? Or are you a magnet, building a force so powerful that opportunities are literally pulled to you? One way leads to a life of constantly running, and the other, well, that leads to a life of attraction.
Okay, let's break down what this actually looks like. The pursuit mindset is what we're all taught. Go after it, focus on what you get on the paycheck. But the attraction mindset, it plays by a totally different set of rules. It says, hey, stop chasing the butterflies. Instead, build a beautiful garden and the butterflies will just come to you. And the big takeaway here is this: your income will almost never outgrow your own personal development.
All right, so how do you even start building that magnetic force? Well, the whole thing kicks off with step one. You have to transform yourself into an idea magnet. Because in this economy, you know what the real currency is? It's not money, it's ideas.
And this really gets to the heart of the mistake most people make. They think, oh, if I just had more money, all my problems would be solved. But that's looking at it completely backwards. The problem isn't that your bank account is empty, it's that your pipeline of new ideas is empty. Get the right ideas and you can rewrite your entire financial story.
And look, getting these game-changing ideas isn't some secret, mystical process. It really just boils down to three simple, consistent things you need to do. You read, you listen, and you observe. Let's dig into each of these. First up, reading. Look, you can learn everything the hard way from your own experience, but that's slow and painful and super expensive. Or you can learn from other people's experiences. A single book can literally save you 5 years of trial and error. The blueprints are right there. Hundreds of successful people have written down exactly how they did it, and yet most people just don't read them. It's wild. And this doesn't have to be some huge, life-altering commitment. The key is just a simple, powerful habit. 30 minutes a day. That's it. Just 30 minutes to feed your mind something positive, something useful, something that actually challenges you.
Okay, next up is listening. And this is where the advice takes a sharp turn into territory that might make you a little uncomfortable. Brace yourself for this one. The philosophy here is that poor people ought to take rich people out to dinner. Yeah, just let that sink in for a second. Whoa, hold on a minute. Did I hear that right? My first reaction is, are you kidding me? He's got the money. He should pay. I can barely afford my own dinner. I mean, on the surface, this sounds like the most backward advice you could possibly give someone. But here's the powerful thinking behind it. That $100 dinner, it's not a cost. It's an investment. You're buying 2 hours of unfiltered access to a mind that has already figured out the problems you're dealing with right now. The return on that investment could be one single idea that multiplies your income by 2, 3, maybe even 5 times. So it's not a cost, it's an education. The third way to get ideas is to observe. But there's a huge difference between sight, just seeing things with your eyes, and insight, seeing answers with your mind. It's the difference between just watching a successful person and actually breaking down why they're successful. You have to become a student of the obvious. Pay attention to everything. Don't miss a thing. So now you're an idea magnet. Your head is just buzzing with new possibilities. But here's the thing. Ideas are just potential energy. They're completely worthless without step 2, the engine that turns thoughts into reality. And that engine runs on one thing and one thing only: discipline. And let's be really clear about what motivation is. It's not about waiting for some bolt of lightning to strike. It's not about waiting for some guru to get you all fired up. I mean, what if they don't show up this week? The source is clear. Self-motivation is the only kind that actually exists. You have to be your own ignition switch. But this is what most people get so wrong about discipline. They treat it like a fire extinguisher that's behind a pane of glass. It's only for a massive emergency. They think, when the big challenge finally comes, then I'll rise to the occasion. They're saving up their strength for a moment that might never even happen. That is the exact opposite of how it works. Discipline is a muscle.
You have to build it by starting with the little things day in and day out. You can't just walk into a gym and decide to lift 300 pounds. You start with an empty bar. And those small disciplines, like getting up on time, finishing the book, making that phone call, they build the strength you need for when life puts a real challenge in front of you. This quote right here just sums it all up perfectly. If you just hoard knowledge without ever applying it, you're just becoming a well-read fool. The entire point of learning, of gathering all those ideas, is to turn them into action. That is the only way you actually become wealthy. And finally, we get to step 3. Now, this isn't just another step on the list. This is the rule that governs everything else. It's the integrity check that keeps this whole powerful system from just falling apart. And the rule is simple. Don't look for the shortcut. Don't try to cheat the system or bend the rules or find the easy way out. Because if you build your success on a foundation of cheap tricks, you will end up with a cheap life. True wealth is built on solid ground. You gotta do the work. So we've laid out the entire blueprint. Become an idea magnet, build your discipline engine, and ground the whole thing in unwavering integrity. Now, the spotlight turns from this philosophy to you. Let's talk about your next 5 years. Seriously, think about the weight of that statement. After hearing all this, being the same person you were yesterday is no longer your default setting. From this moment forward, staying exactly where you are, well, that's an active choice you're making. Just look back at your last 5 years. Everything about them, your health, your money, your relationships, it's all a direct result of the choices and habits you had in the past. Now look forward. The next 5 years are a totally blank page. But unless you choose to change the inputs, they're going to look exactly like the last 5. And so this is where we end. This isn't just some philosophical question. It's a direct challenge. What is the one small, disciplined choice that you will make tomorrow that starts to tip over that first domino? Because the choice isn't just about becoming wealthy. It's about deciding if you're going to spend the rest of your life chasing success or if you'll finally build a life that attracts it.